I'm Johnny, and this is my North Beach. It's Easter time, so today I'm making a Torta Pasqualina. These pies and cakes are very popular in Italy. You've seen me make a pizza rustica, a savory cake from Naples, and pastiera, the wheatberry ricotta sweet cake. Today I'm making Torta Pasqualina that was originally developed in Liguria, the area around Genoa. So there are basically three steps to making this Torta Pasqualina. There's the crust, and for the crust I'm going to use flour, olive oil, and water. Step two is to prepare one of the layers for the Torta Pasqualina. It's sautéed greens, and today I'm using some Swiss chard, some spinach, spring onion, marjoram, and I blanched some off here, and we're going to chop this up and we'll saute it. And step three is the second layer for the Torta Pasqualina. It's ricotta, parsley, parmigiano, eggs, a little bit of grated nutmeg, and sea salt and black pepper. I'm going to make the dough. It's very simple. It's going to be 2½ cups of flour, and I'll just eyeball in half. 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and 1½ cups of water. Just a little bit of sea salt. Now I'm just going to mix this all together, and if it looks like the dough's too wet, I could always add a little bit more flour, which I think I'm going to do with this one. So this one's starting to come together. I think I'm going to be able to work with this on the board. So this is a wet dough. You saw I'm heavily floured my board here, and I'm going to take the dough out and knead it on the board. You're going to have to adjust. If it's a little too wet, put a little bit more flour. If it's too dry, a little bit more water. So this one is very wet, so I'm going to use flour so that it's not going to stick to the board or stick to my hand. So I'm just going to knead it for a minute. Make sure that it has a smooth texture. Everything's mixed well together. And just move the dough ball around, pick up some of this flour, and you should be able to pick it up and form it into a ball. If it's still sticky, just add a little bit more dusting flour. Bench scrapers are really very handy tools in the kitchen. You see me using this a lot. When I'm making dough, I can use it to pick it up, move it around, make sure that I don't leave anything on the board. It's also great for when you're mincing garlic or chopping onions or other vegetables. You can use this to pick it up and move it to the pan. We're in pretty good shape with this. I kneaded it for about a minute. I'm going to wrap it in plastic film, and we're going to let it rest for about a half hour. The first filling is going to be with greens. So I'm using some Swiss chard and some spinach and some scallions, some spring onion. Just slice these up, use all the white, and I'll use some of the green also. So I've got my cast iron skillet here, and I'll put this on medium high. I'll add some extra virgin olive oil. In go the spring onions, and we'll just let these cook a little bit until they get translucent. As these are cooking, I'm going to move over and chop the greens. So I blanched some Swiss chard and some baby spinach. Just bring water to a simmer in a big pot and throw them in the hot water for about 3 minutes, and they'll blanch. You want to be careful that you don't have too much liquid left in these afterwards. So look how dry this is. So what you're going to have to do is drain it, and after it cools, you squeeze out all the water. So I'm just going to do a rough chop on this. This is baby spinach, so if I was using older spinach, I might do a little finer chop, but because this is so tender anyway, this should do it for me. So the green onions are looking good. They'll continue to cook as I add the chopped spinach and chard. And I like to break this up a little bit as I mix it with the green onion, because with all that squeezing and everything gets clumped up together, but we want this pretty leafy. Some sea salt, and that'll help dry out any additional moisture. But you can see down here at the bottom of the pan, there's not a lot of water, so that's what we want. We don't want a soggy torta. I think it may need just a little bit more olive oil though, so I'm just gonna give it a drizzle. See, those big clumps are all broken up. Now I got these loose leaves. Perfect. So here are the greens. I'm gonna put them in this bowl. because we want them to cool. Marjoram is very similar to oregano. I need about a tablespoon of this, so I'm going to pick some off. So just go against the stem, pull it off, and get these little tiny pieces up top. You can take the whole thing. And off the heat, we're going to add the fresh marjoram to the sauteed greens. Those greens are smelling good in the pan with the spring onions, but adding that marjoram, it's over the top. The second filling for the Torta Pasqualina is ricotta. So this is a pound of whole milk ricotta. So I'm just going to put this in here. We're going to add some parsley. I'm going to do a rough chop on this. Right in the bowl. Then we got 2 eggs here. Just going to break these up, and they're going to get mixed in there with the ricotta. It's good enough, and then they'll get mixed up some more. Sea salt, freshly ground pepper, Parmigiano Reggiano. Always look for the stamp. And because this is going to mix in there, I'm using this bigger grate, and then I'm going to go on the finer grate. Here's my friend the scraper, the bench scraper. See how easy it is to pick everything up, throw it right in. I'm just going to mix this together, break the ricotta up. So you want to make sure it's nice and smooth. You don't want any lumps in the ricotta. And I'm adding some air. You see how this is kind of fluffing up a little bit? And that's the consistency you want to achieve. So here's the dough. Been sitting about a half hour or so. So here we're going to do a little bit more flour. And I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces because we're going to have 4 layers of dough. And the other thing I'm going to do is use my scale. So I'm going to want 2 balls that are about 10 ounces each, and then 2 are about 6 or 7. So flour these up, make a little ball out of them. Let me see what this is weighing. So that's about 7 3/4. I'm going to go for that's about 9 7/8. That's about 6. That'll be a small one. It's about 5. So I'm going to have to cheat a little bit from this one to make the second bigger one. It's better. So make sure your board's well floured. And this tends to be a wet dough, so don't be afraid to add flour. This is going to be as thin as I can get it. If you get holes in it, just pinch it up a little bit. And I'm going to use a 10-inch spring-full pan, and this dough needs to cover the bottom and go all the way up the side. So I'm going to want this to be about 13 inches, and I want it round. Okay, let me move this out of the way, and we'll do the other 3. Some extra virgin olive oil in a spring-form pan. Make sure you brush it all around, including the sides all the way up. I'm just going to lay this over the top. See how thin that is? Those holes I'm going to close up a little bit, not to worry. And then this is going to get a second layer of dough anyway. So let it fall down into the pan. A little bit of the olive oil. Brush it all around. Then on top of that first one, we're going to put a second one. You want to make sure that the second layer of dough adheres a little bit to the first. Another light brushing of olive oil. I'm going to take my Swiss chard and spinach filling. Get this all in here. And this is when you can use your filling to help you make sure you fill the edges down here along the bottom of the pan. And right on top of the greens, I'm going to put the ricotta, and then we're going to spread this evenly over on top of the greens. I'm making little indentations, one in the center, and then you can do as many as you want. 4, I'll probably do 5 in a circle, and we're going to, in those indentations, put an egg yolk. And save the whites, because we're going to use the whites too. Set it right in the indentation, and then fill the rest of them. So that one broke, it's no big deal. Little Parmigiano all over the top, including on the egg. These are the egg whites. We just want to break these up a little bit. And I'm almost there. Take this mixture of the egg white and just put it all over the top. Not a lot. Pick this layer. Again, let it fall into the top. So before I put the last layer on, some more olive oil. So we want to get rid of this excess. just roll your pin. So you end up with some excess dough here, but that's okay. I'll find another use for this. Go around the edge and roll this down. This will give you a nice crust. And then you can go around with your fingers and crimp it. And then I'm just gonna finish it off with the tine of the fork. I put a little bit of olive oil around that crust that I just formed. I got my oven going to at 350. So I think the Torta Pasqualina is all ready. It's looking beautiful in here. Let's take it out. Set it over here. We're gonna let it cool for a little bit, and then we'll take it out of the springform pan. Let me take a bite of the Torta Pasqualina. Don't forget to subscribe. Click here and watch another episode.